Everybody say, let's get it. In an excellent article published on Forbes.com, Forbes council member Aaron Levy lays out a typical day in the life of a fictional young woman named Katie. Katie wakes up and realizes she's out of milk, eggs, and mouthwash. So she hops on the Amazon, and by the time she's home from the gym, there's a delivery at her door. She eats breakfast and orders her ride to work. While at work, Katie toggles between her work email, G-chat, text messages, and seeing what everyone's been up to on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. On her lift home, she orders dinner from her phone and gets it just in time to sit on her couch and choose from thousands of titles to binge watch on Netflix. We live in a world where virtually anything can be taken care of in a matter of minutes, right from a device the size, the palm of our hand. The impact on our habits and society is noticeable. Our need, don't miss it, for instant gratification is at an all-time high. If we want something, we no longer understand what it means to wait. End quote. Of course, there's nothing wrong with leveraging technology in an effort to eliminate inefficiencies and increase productivity. The problem creeps in, family, chosen generation, all eyes on me, when we approach our purpose and destiny with the same on-demand attitude. I usually don't do this, but I want to give you my bottom line up front, and that is, there is purpose in patience. Hence my fly t-shirt. Yeah, shout out to Rolanda. She know her pastor swag. I'm rocking the Black Panther aesthetic with the purple and the bracelet. You check, you can get your one, out in the lobby. Just scan the, y'all know what to do. Anyway, let me get back to the message. I met with our men's director, Jackson Drumgoole, who is also the executive director of the Drumgoole Family Initiative. His nonprofit is working on building tiny homes in the community of Augusta for teens aging out of foster care. In our meeting, Jackson said a well-meaning associate saw his success with this initiative and said, "Man, this happened overnight." To which Jackson replied, "Well, I guess it was a long night." You have heard me say that oftentimes when people see your success, they'll run up on you and say, "Wow, man, you blew up." And you can let that stroke your ego if you want to, but to that I suggest you respond how I do. I didn't blow up, I built up. You just weren't paying attention while I was building. It was comedian Eddie Cantor that popularized the phrase, "It takes 20 years to make an overnight success." That's big facts. In today's conversation, chosen family, we will see Satan himself trying to catch Jesus slipping, hoping that in a weak and sensitive moment, Jesus would choose short-term pleasure over long-term purpose. Let's look at the text. Luke 4:5-8 says, "Then the devil took him up and revealed to him all the kingdoms of the world in a moment of time." The devil shows Jesus a vision. Bam! "I will give you all the glory of these kingdoms. I won't just give you the prestige over the kingdoms," Jesus, watch this, "and authority or power over them." The devil said, almost digging at Jesus, because they are mine to give. I need to pause here parenthetically and teach you why the devil says this. A lot of pastors and preachers have erroneously taught that this is another lie of Satan. But everything that Satan says is not a lie. Jesus knew that Satan was speaking the truth. Jesus didn't respond to this part of what the devil even says, because Jesus knew that the devil took the authority of the world from Adam in Genesis. You remember in Genesis where God says, "The day you eat of the fruit," in other words, the day you disobey me, you will surely die. We as human beings were created to rule. Everybody say, "I was created to rule." He told Adam, "Take dominion," in other words, rule, but the day you disobey is the day you lose dominion. This is the perfect time to pause and teach that when you stop obeying God, you are then losing power. When we stop obeying God's rule, when we stop submitting ourselves to God's reign in our relationships, God's rule in our business, God's reign in our relationships, guess what? We then lose the dominion that God destined for us to have. 2 Corinthians 4:4 says, "Satan, who is the god of this world, little g, has blinded the minds of those who don't believe." Satan is the little g god of this world. That's why we can't blame sin on God. I don't like it when Allstate and Progressive and the rest of those insurance companies call tornadoes and hurricanes and floods acts of God. Those are not acts of God. Those are acts of the devil. The whole entire world fell when we sinned. The Bible says that even the earth is waiting for the sons of God, in other words, the Christians, to be revealed in the last days. Even the world is waiting for Jesus to come back. And I don't know about you, if the world is waiting, if the rocks are waiting, if the water is waiting, if the wind is waiting, we ought to be waiting. We ought to be looking forward to the return of Jesus Christ. Those are not acts of God. Those are acts of sin. When we sin, the entire world turns upside down. When the rain starts to rain, the rain doesn't know when to stop, and that's called a flood. When the wind starts blowing, it's no longer under the control of God, it's under the control of the enemy. And so when the wind starts blowing, the wind doesn't know when to stop blowing, and that's what creates tornadoes. Let me help us stop blaming sin on God. I remember losing my dad and my mom to AIDS, and I was angry, aggravated, and frustrated. I said, "God, how could you allow my dad to cheat on my mom, contract a deadly disease, and deliver it to her?" And God laid it on my spirit so strong. He said, "I didn't do that. Your dad did." I can teach you right and wrong. I can give you my word. I can have people share truth with you, but I'm not even powerful enough to take away your choice. Here it is. Satan is so crafty. He is attempting to use the purpose and power he stole from the first Adam to steal the purpose and power of the second Adam. Satan said, if you just worship me, I will give you all the power and prestige you can handle. Oh, young people, don't miss this point here, because y'all attempted to follow folks who you see have power. You attempted to follow folks who get paid. You attempted to follow folks who are uber popular. But just because a person is popular, just because a person has prestige, just because a person is pretty, does not mean that they're operating underneath God's power and authority, because the devil has the ability to grant authority to those who worship him in this world. Watch the music that you listen to. Watch what you allow to go through your eye gaze. Watch the little signs you throw up at the concerts, because little do you know, you could be worshiping the wrong God. You could be worshiping a little g God, because if we honor Satan in this world, Satan has the power to bless you in this world. Whew. It gets gooder. Watch this. This is ultimately Satan trying to tempt Jesus with a get-rich-quick scheme. Oh, that's so good. Jesus, if you do it my way, you won't have to wait. Jesus, if you worship me, I'll give you what you want right now. Jesus, don't get hustled by that person who's saying he's your heavenly father. If you follow him, he's going to put you on a cross. I will give it to you without the cross. You shouldn't have to go through the cross to get to the kingdom. You shouldn't have to suffer to be successful. There's a shortcut. I know I told you in lesson 1, when we were learning about the lust of the flesh, today we're learning about the lust of the eyes. I know I told you that the sin was in the setup, because the devil wanted Jesus to end his fast early, which would then lower his spiritual strength and give Satan a way to attack. So the sin wasn't in necessarily Jesus turning the stones into bread. The sin was in the setup. But sin is also in the shortcut. Woo-hoo. Oh, that's so... Because the devil wants you and me to try to get kingdoms without crosses. The devil wants you to try to get what God has for you without doing it God's way. That's the problem with premarital sex. Yeah, young adults, I'm coming for you. And senior citizens. I don't know if you knew this or not. No cap, last time I checked, the age rate was highest for senior citizens in the city of Augusta than it was for any other age range. Yeah, them senior citizens be getting busy. Yeah, they came out with that Viagra. They lost their doggone mind. Yeah. Yeah, you better wait too. Can I, baby, y'all know I got to check with my baby. Is Viagra, am I allowed? She said, yeah. Okay, borderline. Viagra's borderline, y'all. I can't. You want to know the problem with sex before marriage? It's you trying to get the kingdom with no cross. I get so mad when I see these young men and they won't wait until they get married. Why? Because for me to get some, I got to carry a cross. I got to pray for this woman. I got to deal with her 3 or 4 different personalities. I got to help her pay the bills. I got to submit unto her. And if I got to do all of that to get some, what makes you think you... I love you. Yeah. I carry a cross for the kingdom. Every married man, put your hand up and say, I carry the cross to get mine. Yeah. And you think you go. And you just, because you took her to Red Lobster, you think she, oh. No, that ain't the cross, buddy. Let me. My name's Unique Mackey, and I am your. He wants you to take the shortcut. And the sin is in the shortcut. Do you know that there be no such thing as STDs if we did sex God's way? Do you know that our health care bills would go way down because we paying bills to help folks with something that they should not even have? Folks like to argue about abortion, but guess what would happen to the abortion argument if we waited until we were in covenant relationship to have children? Because you thought it was 18 minutes of fun, and then you found out that you have 18 years of responsibility. Let me help you if we waited. The sin is in the shortcut. Get your kingdom, forget about the cross. The sin is in. Oh, I love hollering at my hustling brothers because I used to be one. I get it. The fast life can be fun. But that's trying to get the kingdom without the cross. Stop lying to yourself and say you just trying to help your mama. Why, if you was just trying to help your mama, why didn't you take that first $100,000 you made and stack it instead of buying a brand new Benz? You wasn't trying to take care of your mama. You were trying to take care of yourself, and you fell for the... If you take that hustle and discipline and put it into something legit, you could be a Fortune 500 CEO, but the enemy will tell you, don't wait. Here's the problem with the shortcut. Shortcuts, you're going to lose your mind when I say this, only gets you half the blessing. Oh, sleep. Get a cooked food ready for me. Watch this. Matthew 28:18 says, Jesus came and told his disciples, this was after the virgin birth. This was after his virtuous life. This was after his vicarious death on the cross. He got up out of the grave and he said, I have been given all authority in heaven and I thought you were going to lose your mind. Jesus got out the grave after going through the cross and said, guess what I have? I have authority in heaven, and I got them raggedy kingdoms you was trying to get me. If I would have fell for the shortcut, all I would have had was power over the earth. But because I didn't fall for your shortcut, and I did it the hard way, and I girded up my loins, and I made the sacrifice, and I died on that cross, I got authority in heaven too. Is there anybody besides myself that ain't about to lose half my blessing trying to fall for the shortcut? I'm not just trying to get power on earth. I'm not just trying to have a little bit of money. I'm not just trying to have a little bit of property. I'm not just trying to have a couple little cars. Guess what? When you follow God, you can have the earthly stuff and the heavenly stuff too. I can have money and life. I can have peace and joy. I can a shortcut may help me fulfill my lust, but it won't get me love. I can have heavenly stuff and earthly stuff. A shortcut may get me paid, but that doesn't mean it'll help me find purpose. A shortcut may help me temporarily escape some anxiety, but it won't give you peace. A shortcut may provide some sort of temporary entertainment, but it won't fill your life with joy. Let me help you. If you really want to connect with God, you can't take the shortcut. You've got to endure the cross. And Jesus said that for the joy set before me, I endured the cross and I scorned the shame, and now I am seated at the right hand of the Father. When you do it the hard way, when you take the long route, when you actually sacrifice, you will be seated at the right hand. The right hand is the power hand of God, and he's seated. That's the peace of God. Is there anybody that's trying to get some peace? Don't take the short cut, because the devil can only give you that which he has power over, and that's earthly stuff. Woo. Why are you chasing the enemy as if that devilish stuff can take you towards your destiny? The devil can't give you godly stuff. The enemy can't give you peace. That belongs to the Prince of Peace. The devil can't give you joy. Joy belongs to Jesus. The devil can't give you heavenly stuff. Watch this. Satan comes with a gift up front, when God comes with a cross. This is how we know when the enemy is at work, because it's too good to be true. Oh, that's so good. Sometimes I watch this show called American Greed, and American Greed is about big time CEOs that hustle people out of their money in hopes that they will become filthy rich. American Greed. And sometimes when I'm listening to what these people who got hustled are saying, I feel sorry for them, but at the same time, I don't, because you should have known that you can't make $15,000 in a day on a $15,000 investment. It's the enemy when it's too good to be true. That's why Solomon says in Proverbs 27:6, wounds from a sincere friend are better than many kisses from an enemy. Beware of people that are kissing you all the time. Beware of a person that's patting you on the back all the time. Don't surround yourself with yes women and yes men, because if you do, guess what? You are probably being set up by Satan if you are telling me that everything I do is right, if you are not holding me accountable, if you don't have anybody that can speak truth into your life, you are inviting the enemy. Beware of a person that's kissing you all the time. This is Satan trying to trick Jesus with a kiss. If you submit to God, you get a cross, Jesus. But if you submit to me, you get a kingdom. But here's the problem. Wealth from a get-rich-quick scheme quickly disappears. Proverbs 13:11 says, I love it. Wealth from hard work grows over time. I'm going to rewind and repeat that. Y'all don't know when to clap. Wealth from get-rich-quick schemes quickly disappears, but wealth from hard work grows over time. Stop trying to get what God has for you overnight. If you get it too quickly, it's a good chance you won't appreciate it. And if you don't appreciate it, you won't do the things you need to attempt to do to keep it. But if I am willing to do the hard work, if I am willing to just grind it out, if I'm willing to do what I need to do day after day after day. I told you a few weeks ago that it's not just about commitment, it's more about consistency. It's easy to make a commitment. It's hard to be consistent. It's hard to make that a New Year's resolution in January and be doing in December what you said you were going to be doing in January. It's easy to start off at the gym at the beginning of the year, but how many of you end up at the gym at the end of the year? It's easy to save in January, but how many of you all hit your financial goal by December? Commitments are easy, but consistency. That's why many of us are not wealthy, because we don't do what we're supposed to do long enough. I meet so many people that come with a success story. But guess what? It's easy to have a snapshot of success. What I want to know is what you've been doing for the last decade. You want to know how I know when I'm rolling up on a real OG? He spit numbers like this. How long you been married? 18 years. How long you been in the gym at least 3 times a week? 10 years. How long you been tithing? 20-something years. That's how you know you rolling up on an OG, when they spitting out. Here it is. Purpose comes at a price. Let me try this side. Purpose comes at a price. That's why I'm so proud of my young king. Ladarius, stand up for me 1 second, man. Ladarius, y'all remember Ladarius, who used to help lead Chosen Generation? So proud of you, man. He came in to visit. He tunes in every single week. He's working in the government up in Atlanta in Cobb County. He brought his boo Tori. Thank you for joining us. Yeah. He's a professor at Kennesaw State University. He's a professor at AU as well. That's what we mean when we say wealth grows when you do hard work over a long period of time. I've been working with him over a decade, it seems like, and it's been amazing to see how God has grown him. I'm here to tell you that if you do what you're supposed to do and you do it consistently, no Satan, no demon, or no devil can take God's destiny from you. Too many saints want success on sale. We want destiny at a discount. You don't get destiny at a discount. You don't get long-term success on sale. You don't get what God has for you without paying the cost. You don't get kingdoms without crosses. You don't get success without submission. You don't get purpose without process. You don't get prosperity without patience. Wait on the Lord. Watch this. Jesus understood that there would be a time to rule all the kingdoms of the world. This is so good. But this wasn't his season. You want to know what'll help you wait? Don't let your food get cold looking at somebody else's plate. Shout out Andy Mineo. I got that from him. So, some of y'all's food is cold because you're too worried about what somebody else eating, and you can't do what God has called and created you to do. Let me help you. If you can just be consistent over a certain amount of time, if you can just do what you need to do over a certain amount of time, guess what? God will usher you into your season. But the devil may try to tempt you to take what God has for you tomorrow, today. We got to have the patience to wait until God says we are ready to rule. Because the right kingdom at the wrong time is still sin. Oh my God. The right woman at the wrong time is still sin. The right man at the wrong time is still sin. If we don't understand seasons, if we don't understand timing, the enemy will talk us into taking what God wanted us to wait for. Jesus understood. It's not my season to reign. Oh, the kingdoms look good, but it's not my season to be popular. Oh, I would love to have the prestige, and I would love to have the title. I would love to have the power. But Jesus understood, I don't want anything that God is not giving me. I can't cap. I'm going to keep it real with you. I understand. It's hard to turn down a kingdom in the immediate when you know it's God's will for you eventually. Oh, Ashley, it's hard to turn down the kingdom in the immediate. I don't know. This is me exegeting the white spaces. This is unique, not Bible. You can take it or leave it. But I wonder how tempted Jesus was, knowing that that's really mine. That's my wife. But she dating somebody else right now. Should I take him out away? I can do my boss's job better than he can. So should I serve with a submissive and God-honoring spirit, or should I set him up? It's hard knowing that God has something for you eventually, not to take it in the immediate. It's hard shopping at Kohl's when you know God got Gucci in your future. It's hard warming up them ramen noodles when you know God got Longhorns and Ruth Chris in your future. But let me help you. Wait. on. Lord. I know it's hard to celebrate when your homeboy gets married to his beautiful bride, but let me help you. You're not ready to be a husband yet. I know it's hard to celebrate your sister's wedding when your mommy said you need to be married by 29 and a half or nobody's going to want you. But let me help you. You're not ready to be a wife yet. So don't take what God has for you eventually in the immediate, because the right thing at the wrong time is still. He said, I'll give it all to you if you worship me. Don't miss this. The spirit that gives you the kingdom is the spirit that gets control of the kingdom. Oh yeah, let me rewind and repeat it. Somebody ought to tweet that. Give me my credit. The spirit that gives you the kingdom is the spirit that gets control of your kingdom. Don't think anything that the enemy wants you to do, he's really doing for you. He's really doing it so he can have control, because even the devil knows whatever you do to get into a place, you got to do to stay there. So if you lose your integrity to get the position, don't think you can keep the position having character. If you lying still to get something, don't think that you're going to be able to keep it being honest. Whoever grants you the kingdom gets control over the kingdom. Don't take the shortcut. I know it seems okay. I know it doesn't seem like a big deal. I know everyone is doing it, but if you want to honor God, wait until he gives you the kingdom. Y'all been a great crowd. I'm done after this. Colossians 2:7. And I'm out of your face. Let your roots grow down. Woo. Let me try this side. Let me turn it this way. I know this is not good for the live stream, Mama Hatcher, but I got to talk to. Let your roots grow. No. Let me turn this way. My young kings over here on this side. Yeah. Let your roots grow down into him. And let your lives be built. This is one of the most cold-blooded scriptures. On him. Then your faith will grow strong in the truth you were taught, and you will overflow with thankfulness. Oh, I guess there's nobody here who's got roots down deep into him, because I don't hear anybody thankful. Let me rewind and repeat it. Let your roots grow down into him, and let your lives be built on him. Why don't you take 5 seconds and give God praise if your roots have grown down into him? I want to see a church who understands that I got to grow down before I grow up. Oh, that's so good. I got to grow down before I grow up. I got to grow down into Jesus before I try to operate in power. I got to grow down into Jesus before I try to run my life with prestige. I've got to grow down into Jesus before I'm ready to handle the popularity that he has for me. I got to grow down into Jesus before I'm ready to be the husband that he's called me to be. I got to grow down into Jesus before you're ready to be the wife that he's called and created you to be. You trying to grow up before you've grown down. You trying to take the kingdom with shortcuts. You trying to. You got to grow down some. Stop trying to grow up. Stop trying to act like you a boss and you a baby. Stop trying to act like you a leader and you really lame. Stop trying to act like you really know what you're doing and you hadn't grown down. You haven't fasted enough to do what God has called you to do. You ain't consistent enough to walk and really handle the kingdoms according to God's will. You ain't ready because you ain't grown down. Why you think you ready? When you not. If you were ready, God would have given it to you. That's how you know you ready, because you don't have to fight for nothing. That's how you know you ready. You don't have to fuss for nothing. That's how you know you ready, when doors just open and you wasn't even twisting the knob. Can anybody testify that when I was ready, God gave it to me? When I was ready, I ain't have to stab nobody in the back. When I was ready, I ain't have to DM somebody's husband to get some loving. When I was ready, when you're ready, God will bless you with some stuff. Has anybody been blessed by God because they waited on the Lord and he renewed your strength and you mounted up with wings like an eagle and you were able to run and not get weary and walk and not faint? That's why you so tired all the time. That's why you can be so down all the time. Got that Eeyore spirit. Don't nothing ever go right. Let me help you. You are trying to do it yourself. If you let God do it, you can run and not be weary. When you let God do it, you can walk and not faint. The reason you're tired is because you doing it. Wait on the Lord. Grow down. Get humble. Stop taking the shortcut. That's why you're struggling in your relationships. You want a husband, but like the woman at the well, you had 5 or 6 already. And real men, no, I'm not going to go here. I'll get in trouble again. Listen. I'll go in and say it. A real man don't want to be walking at the mall with his wife and see dudes whispering, man, I can't believe he did. Man, do you know what she used to do? Oh, my God. I want to be able to walk through the food court with my head held high. And you know you messed up when you walk through the food court and you say, oh, man, you Just go on and drop your head. You already done did it. Now it's too late. Baby, I love you anyway, baby. Don't worry. Old things that passed away, baby. Come on, yeah. Ladies, you laughing. You don't want to be walking through the food. He used to pay my bills. He used to, yeah, she thinks she got him, but he was all in my DM. You can. Wait on the Lord. Let God reveal his will. This is the devil revealing his will, not God. I gotta check folks when they say they spiritual, because there's more than one spirit. Who's revealing it to you? Oh, that could be the devil showing you that. That could be the devil whispering to you. You know you better than they are. That could be the devil whispering to you. You know you read. You better check the spirit. People talking about, yeah, I'm spiritual. Yeah, the devil's spiritual too. Wait on the Lord, and he will renew your strength. He will give you what you need to conquer those kingdoms. He'll give you what you need to rule with power. He'll give you what you need to be prosperous. What father doesn't want success for their child? But a good father isn't going to give a child anything without a cross. A good father isn't going to give a child anything without teaching them discipline. A good father isn't going to give a child anything without teaching them what it'll take to keep it.